Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. And today we are going to be doing a preview of the game between South Africa and New Zealand. There's a battle of the in-form teams, you could say, the two of the top performers in this competition so far. And it's something that we are really all looking forward to. South Africa sits second on the log after only one loss in this tournament so far, while New Zealand have suffered two defeats so far in this tournament. It's also a look into both sides, basically how South Africa can perform in a admirable manner. Of course, try to improve where they've gone wrong, dependable on how they what happens in the game with regards to the toss. It will decide how the two teams perform. Um, New Zealand has shown good signs of both setting scores and chasing, whereas South Africa has struggled to chase but did really well in setting great totals. So we're going to go into quite some detail into this particular match, what we are looking forward to. Are we excited? But it does pose a challenging test for South Africa. But before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. First and foremost, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to also subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. If you want to show support for what we are doing here at Cricket Fanatics, then please become a patron today. We rely on your patronage to continue doing what we are doing here. So the link is on the screen as well as in the description. Smash the like button, comment, and share. And go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'm looking forward to discussing everything with you guys. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with South Africa against New Zealand in the ICC World Cup. Now, obviously, we're hoping that South Africa can draw some inspirations from the Boks, who beat New Zealand in the final of the of the Rugby World Cup. The Boks have obviously come home from France and are going to start their tours with the trophy across South Africa. So this is a match. It is, you could say, a rivalry from a South African sporting perspective. It's always been a rivalry between the rugby nations. The cricket and the cricketing nations haven't played. I wouldn't say they played enough against each other to actually cause a massive rivalry between them. We know that that's obviously between South Africa and Australia, South Africa, India, South Africa, and England. Those are the massive teams that have caused that it could be classified as major tournaments between, or major series between the two nations. Just to give an indication of what has been happening with regards to the game. Now, we do know that this game is being played in Pune. It's usually hot and dry this time of the year, of course, and the surfaces have been good for batting in general. We saw a game today. We saw a game recently where the pitch looked quite decent for batting, and there's a lot of bounce and carry on this particular pitch. The two games so far, there hasn't been a major effect on the games, but it should be humid, and the toss might not be too big of a factor if the dew stays away. Ultimately, that's something that we need to take into consideration. So whether South Africa win the toss and bat first, or win the toss or lose the toss and bowl second, that's how I'm going to be saying it, because I think that if we win the toss, that we should bat first. That should be the mentality against New Zealand. The concerns about this ground, I don't really have many concerns about this particular ground. I do think that South Africa can do a great job either way. And I think that the chasing factor will obviously give us a lot of confidence going into this particular match. I was speaking to a friend today about when we need to chase, because I think we do need to chase ahead of the knockouts to, again, just to see if there has been an improvement in the belief. And I think the best game for us to chase against is India, in my opinion. So, especially at the ground, Kolkata, the game was played there today. We saw how Pakistan quite easily chased down. I know it was only 200, but they got a lot of swing Pakistan today in Kolkata, and the ball moved around quite a bit, which was interesting. So I think that will also help the likes of Marco Janssen, who gets natural swing in general. So it might be something that we need to look into. When it comes to Pune as a ground, we know it's not the biggest of grounds, so there is a lot of thoughts that we need to take into this particular game when it comes to who we're going to pick. It might not necessarily be a spinner friendly wicket. I mean, in today's game in Eden Gardens, we, for example, when South Africa do go and play India, that particular game we need to consider, or what we're going to be doing when it comes to which team we're going to pick when it comes to that. But in Pune in general, it might be a ground where we need to pick two spinners. And I think that's something that we need to consider. There's also the returning KG, who's coming back from a back niggle. Luckily, Ferguson is missing with regards to the team um, uh, updates with regards to New Zealand. So we know that Ferguson, it doesn't look like he's going to make it. Kane Williamson might be back. That is going to be a massive thing. The last time South Africa played them in the World Cup, he scored 100 against us. So that's something that we need to take into consideration on our plans when it comes to that. And also, his leadership is brilliant. Um, Russian Ravindra has been excellent at number 3. So we need to keep an eye out on that, because he's quite a good cricketer, I must say, the way he's been playing. Um, so this is something that we need to be at our best, focus on what we do well, and those type of things need to come into the equation when we are playing this team. New Zealand is a very good nation, a very good team. We saw how they chased against, for example, Australia. They almost chased down that total. So with Kane Williamson back into the team again, that's going to be something that's very interesting when it comes to that. Um, there has been some thought of there has been some talk from the captain saying that it's still uncertain whether he will be ready, but I think that most likely he would be. So that's something that we need to look into when it comes to that. Now, I do have a press conference from Rassie van der Dussen that I would like to play on the show, just to give us some indication of what the South Africa is thinking heading into this match. So let's try to react to this. This isn't going to be as long of a show as usual, because I currently have load shedding, and as you guys know, the battery dies quite quickly on my side if I don't have any electricity. No generators this side, guys. So let's get into this particular press conference and see what Rassie had to say. It's a big game for him as well, and our captain Temba Bavuma. Let's see, is it playing?
Any
It's
chat
taking a
within
while
the
to
team
load.
about
There we
why
go.
that could be, and how you guys sort of rectify that?
No, it feels like that question could have been asked a few days uh, ago as
I'm not
well.
getting any sound on my side again, guys. It's just gonna reload and refresh. I can hear it. Okay, I'm back. Let's see if I can get it to play now again. Sorry for the wait.
South Africa haven't beaten New Zealand at a World Cup since 1999. 5 losses on the trot since then. I know you were only part of one, but has there been any chat within the team about why that could be and how you guys want to sort of rectify that?
No, it feels like that question could have been asked a few days ago as well, with regards to Pakistan. So no chat really about that. I mean, that's all in the past. We don't really carry any of that with us. Tomorrow is a new game. It's 2 pretty strong teams on form going against each other, so it should be a really good day.
Yeah, taking into consideration that New Zealand is coming off 2 defeats, that is something that should give the South Africa some sort of confidence. But you take it game by game. I say you always prepare for the team not on based on their form, but prepare for them as if they are at their best. That's I think that we should focus, and that's how I think we should approach it.
Just personally, how have you found the World Cup and your own form? Are you pleased with where you're at?
Yeah, I would say I'm relatively pleased. I've had an innings or 2 where I've contributed, and I think the really positive thing about our batting lineup at the moment is different guys are contributing. Obviously, Quinny's leading run scorer, and Aiden is right there. But around them, we've had different people contributing in different times, and that's really reassuring for us, the batting unit, to know that on different days, different guys might fill up different roles, and sort of carry the responsibility. But yeah, I'm reasonably pleased that as we hopefully go into the business end of the tournament now, you want to be really at 100%, and yeah, I think most of our guys are in a pretty good space.
Rossi, I realize it's part of the process that you take things one day at a time and one game at a time. But, is there a thought somewhere that tomorrow's game is about who plays who in the semis?
No, not at all. I think the beauty of this World Cup has been that there's been some upsets. It's really difficult to predict who's going to beat who, and how the results are going to unfold. So certainly in our camp, there's no real chat about it. We really have been good in taking it one game at a time, and it's no different for tomorrow. There's a much stronger focus on focusing on our processes and how we want to go about that. We've fallen short at times, and we've been really good at times, and sort of shutting out all the World Cup permutation, if I can call it that, we've been really good at.
Rossi, you guys have spoken quite a lot about not carrying baggage or talking about things like not beating teams since '99 or whatever. But how do you actually do that when people mention it to you? Do you just ignore stuff, or do you how do you actually not carry the baggage?
No, I suppose it's about just acknowledging and accepting it. It's after that Dutch game, we took a lot of flack from back home, and certainly in the media as well. And there's no use in delving too much into it. You just got to accept it and move on. And from our side, you realize that there's people at home and fans that's been really scarred by previous performances of South Africa in World Cups, and you can't really criticize them for feeling that way. For criticism to come from, I suppose, a place of hurt where they've seen that movie before. So, but personally, and I think it goes for about probably most of the people in our squad and management team, that we haven't lived that. So it's not really applicable to us. It's not something that, obviously, watching growing up, is things that happen, and they love replaying the scenes whenever we take the field, and that's fine. But it's really not something that's affecting us. It's part of history, but it's certainly not part of us as a team.
Now, that is a brilliant answer, in my opinion. Um, well done, Rasi, on saying that because it's 100% true and it's something that I've tried to communicate with you guys here as well. It's irrelevant. It truly is to this team because they aren't the ones that choked. So the thing is that other teams in the past have somehow, because they were involved for quite some time, it kind of carried with them. It was baggage that they carried with them because some of them were part of that squad and that team and were in that environment and played with those players. We are long gone from that situation. None of the players from the teams that have choked are part of this particular squad right now. So it's a fresh new team with a different mentality. And I don't count 2019 as a choke. We were terrible from the start of the tournament. So it's completely different scenarios that we needed to fix and work on. We do, however, see certain aspects of our game or certain weaknesses in our game when we are under pressure. And that needs to be worked on, but it's not because of previous teams and what they have gone under. So brilliant answer from Rasi, and that they are, because they do that. They replay the 1999 Herschel Gibbs drop catch and 1999 run out, and they replay that 2003 miscalculation situation over and over again. So it's good that this team is taking it game by game. It's exactly how I wanted them to approach it. And the fact that they acknowledge that they acknowledge that how we feel as fans is a great thing, because that means that they are thinking about what we as fans are feeling, and they accept it and understand the hurt and the criticism that we are throwing their way when they do perform poorly. So acknowledging it instead of fighting against us is a brilliant way forward, I think, for the team as from a mental perspective.
Rossi, just coming off that first question there, do you, as a side, take any inspiration from the Springboks, not just in potentially beating New Zealand, but also going all the way here?
Massively. We were all watching it at 2:30 in the morning. The final, actually, the previous three games, we were all there in the team room watching. We take massive inspiration from them, massive learnings and lessons from them as a team, how they go about what they do, what they stand for, the purpose they play for. I think Sia mentioned it in a press conference that if you're not from South Africa, you don't really understand what it means or what sporting achievements mean for the people at home and for us. So we definitely take massive inspiration from that. We know a lot of those players personally as well. A lot of the guys in the team knows as friends that plays in that team, and to see what they able to achieve is it's just really inspirational. And I think the realization for us is that we know different. Yes, we haven't won World Cups, but if we do manage to get there at some time, at some stage, it'll be really an honor for us to be mentioned in the same sentence as those guys.
Rasi Temba mentioned.
Yes, 2015, weren't Quinny and David in the 2015 side? Yes, they were part of the 2015 side, but I don't really see the 2015 side. I don't see them as it is necessarily responsible for the choke. It's not as big as a choke as I think in. I don't think that was as big as a really necessarily a choke. They weren't responsible for the choke, if you can put it in, if I can put it in that terms. That's what I mean. So the players that were responsible for that, and also Quinny was quite young in the 2015 World Cup. So yes, okay, he was a part of that. So that is something that we can maybe look at. KG didn't play in that tournament, no. From what I remember, I don't remember KG being a part of that 2015 World Cup squad. If I'm looking at the squad right now, just to double check that. I'll look at the squad right now to just double check that. Where is it now? I just had it now in front of me. Here we go. So AB, Riley, John, Kyle, Monet, KG wasn't a part of that. So he was part of the 2019 side. Um, so that's something that I don't think they should carry with him. I mean, so far the way Quinton has played in this World Cup means that he hasn't really necessarily allowed that to affect him at all. So um, yeah, so I don't necessarily count the 2015 majorly as a choke. Yes, they'll stay in that last over. Yes, they maybe got selection maybe incorrect, but I don't really count it as a full-on choke. I think 2003, 2019, I mean 2003, maybe 1999, maybe to an extent 2011, I would say to a degree, maybe those were. But ultimately, South Africa shouldn't, I mean, these players shouldn't allow themselves to be bundled in with those particular conversations. And I think that was the perfect answer from Rassi van der Dussen over here.
That you guys have a template when you bat first, and you don't really have a template for run chases. Could you just expand on that and explain to the layman what exactly is that template when you bat first, and what needs to happen when you bat second?
I think yes, we have a blueprint in inverted commas, but it's about fundamentals of building a 50 over innings. It's been big for us to set the base up at the top and really give guys like Mark, Heinrich, and David the platform to be at their most destructive, and that's something that's been working well for us. And the challenge is for us to emulate that when we're batting second. We did.
Thank you.
Obviously, against Netherlands, we didn't manage that. The other night, we managed it at stages. But I think to see it in that sense, it's almost a positive for us because we've been so good at batting first. Once or twice that you don't get the chase right, then it gets highlighted. Whereas if you look at the past 18 months or so, 18 to 24 months, we've actually chased pretty well. So, yeah, I suppose people are always going to look for the negatives, and that's fine. But yeah, I suppose the challenge for us is to emulate what we do batting first when there's a score to chase.
Yeah, so they need to emulate, like I said, they need to emulate what they do when they're batting first. Because the way when we bat first and score big totals, we basically, because we're scoring so many runs, it means that we are setting platforms and then kicking on in the back end, which is exactly how our chase is set up. So if we don't look at the situation as, oh no, we're chasing over here. South Africans batters and South Africa's batting lineup should not think of a chase in that manner. They should think of them. They should just see it as a batting innings. They shouldn't see it as a chasing batting innings. As soon as they start thinking about the chase and looking at the runs on the board, they're going to fail. If they more than not, because they're putting too much pressure on themselves. I think what I think they need to do is obviously emulate what they do when they bat first. We are capable of scoring. We've seen it. First, fans and media were talking about how we can't score past 300. That was the first discussion when it came to our ODI side, that we can't score over 300. We've scored 400 now, I think twice in this tournament. 350s has been easy when we're batting first. So we are capable of scoring big totals. The thing is, when we chase, is I think we get caught up into the mindset that, oh no, we need to chase. And then we start changing the way we operate. When we bat first, we don't often have maiden overs, right? But when we chase, it seems like our batters suddenly now want to play extra cautious, cautiously when they're approaching. They're extra cautious with their approach to the batting, where I feel that they just need to go about their business as they normally do. South Africa's team makeup and balance is set up in a way that we can blow the platform and then allow our middle order to go raucous and do what they do best. So that's how we should approach our chases. And I think we'll chase down most totals if we emulate how we bat when we bat first.
Rassi, you were there in 2019, and it was quite different situation, the same stage back then and now. I was just wondering, what sort of, is there anything different within this group, maybe like, psychologically or whatever it might be? Is there something different from now than it was then?
Yeah, I think there's definitely something different. I think the situations we faced in the
Oh, just a quick update, guys. I just got a message from that exact friend I was talking to earlier on. He said that Black Caps just tweeted that Kane Williamson has been ruled out of the Wednesday's match against South Africa. Williamson has batted in the nets the last 2 days, but has been ruled out of the return to match action tomorrow. You will be assessed again ahead of the side's next match against Pakistan. So that's the news coming from New Zealand. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on that.
past 4 years, whether it be COVID, whether it be Black Lives Matter, SJN, various political stories that we've had back home that and had to manage as a team has really forced us to pull together as a team. That's the one aspect, and really as I suppose at the effect of us being really tight off the field as well, we really knowing each other intimately.
Real G says, I disagree with that. We should try the same way we bat first. When we bat first, we go at 12 plus in the last 10 overs. If you're chasing and have a required rate of plus 12, you're likely to lose. The point here is that the chances of us scoring, of the opposition scoring 400 runs or 350 plus runs against us in a match should be what we should prevent, because then we'll have issues with chasing. But if we have a 240 target, 250 target, 280 target, 300 target, and we approach it the same way as when we bat first, we will cross the line with ease with the way that we approach it by setting a platform and then kicking on. That's just logical with regards to that. I mean, there's the same amount of overs when you have the same amount of overs when you're batting first as when you're batting second. It's not like the overs change. So what happens with South Africa when we chase, and why 240 targets and 280 targets look such like a daunting task when we chase, is because we eat up too many dot balls when we start the innings, and then we put pressure on the back end. But if our openers approach the game like they approach it when we're setting targets, we'll be in a healthy space when we're hitting that 30 over mark. We need someone to bat deep. We need the players to run regularly between the wickets, score at close to 6 to 8 runs per over in the first 10 to 15 overs. Those are things that we need to do, that like we do when we bat first. So layer platform is very important. When we're chasing, we don't lay platforms. We kind of play tentatively, or we just go guns ho and we end up losing our wicket. So that's the issue. I think that's what I mean by how we approach it. It's the mentality of how we approach it. We shouldn't see it as soon as we think about it being a chase. We either go ultra aggressive or we go super conservative. And I think we should go balanced like we do mentally when we set the score. That's what I mean. Just to clarify.
And the other fact is, as a group, we've been actually playing together a very long time. If you look at, it's almost between any two members of the squad, there's a real connection. You can find some sort of connection somewhere. If you look at the batters, we've been batting together for a long time. If you look at, for example, Quinny and KG, they've been playing together since young. Same with Temba, same with myself, Reza. So I think there's definitely something different in this team. Of course, when you're in it, yeah, I suppose you do feel it, and I think we're blessed in a sense that we're in a great space now. We've had to deal with quite a lot of controversy over the last 3 years, so that's really put us in good stead.
Yeah, there's a key group of Lions players in this team that have played together for a long time in franchise cricket and won together domestically. So that does help.
You spoke about the chase aspect of the matches, and I want to go back to the Pakistan match. Without sounding negative, as you said, Did that match kind of expose any chinks for you, or come as a kind of a wake-up call to shake up from, because you have been doing so well until that point of time?
Yeah, I think we're not happy with that performance as a batting unit and as a batting collective. What is a positive that we didn't play our best cricket at all, especially from a batting sense, and we still managed to get a win, and that's always a positive. If you look at the Springboks, how they especially won against England, it was pretty scrappy, but they got across the line, and for us that's a similar result against Pakistan. So we know we are a lot better than that. We know we want to be a lot more clinical in a chasing situation. It's very clear to us where we went wrong and the mistakes we made. So we're not shying away from that, and it gives us confidence knowing that we still got over the line. And when we do get in that position again, hopefully the decisions that we make and the options we take will be a lot better.
Okay, this accountability is what I'm looking for, understanding where the weaknesses are, and taking responsibility as a batting unit. All was taken over there from Rassie van der Dussen. Big game for him tomorrow, big game for Temba tomorrow. I think those two are going to be key to us, to our win over there. So I love that answer from Rassie van der Dussen. I see, Lawrence, you agree. I like the accountability that they're taking as a unit. They're not shying away from that criticism.
Sorry, Rassi, I know you're getting asked about the Springboks a lot, but you spoke about Sia saying, if you're not South African, you don't understand what it means. And we've seen a lot of ads where like the Boks are dedicating their performances to their hometowns, their grandparents, whatever. If you have to speak like from your heart, what does it mean? How can you explain to other people what does it mean when you're South African to represent the country that you represent?
I think for me, it's just obviously coming from a very divided background in the last 70 to 100 years, those sort of mindsets are still quite entrenched in a lot of communities and a lot of older generations. And
oh, well done,
I think
Rassi.
that what the Springboks and what sport shows us is that as a country, as South Africa, how when you do get things right and you do things the right way, and what you can achieve. End of the day, I think good things happen to good people, and that Springbok team sort of that's what they are. They're all hardworking, good South Africans with a real humility about them, a real hunger for success, and for me, it just certainly shows that when you're willing to put differences aside, what's possible for a country like ours.
Rassi, I just wanted to ask you about your role.
Thanks for the biltong, by the way.
I'm not sure I'm allowed to bring it in, so you maybe not say that.
It's in already, and It's been disposed of, so.
Okay, right. As far as the batting blueprint is concerned, do you think that you've been cast in the role of doing the dirty work and the work that you don't often necessarily get thanked for? You sort of set it up for Classy to monster it at the end, and David and whatever. I mean, your job is to bat time, see off the new ball, absorb pressure, and nobody really kind of says thank you for that.
Yeah, I think myself, Quinn, and Temba often joke about it, saying we're the reason Classy and the guys get millions at IPL because they can come in and hit sixes at the back. So no, but it's. It is a role that needs to be done, and from my side and the other guys as well, we're really happy to be doing it. Us, in our team, there's a sense of it's what's the word I'm looking for? English, not my first language. No, it's fine. It's amazing to see what you can achieve when it doesn't matter who gets the credit, or when you don't care who gets the credit for getting the win or getting over the line or putting in a good performance. So there's a real sense of that in our team, and if that's going to help us win matches and win the World Cup, then I'll be happy not to be thanked for that.
Yeah, unselfishness. Ultimately, everybody's just trying to play for the team. That's ultimately what I'm getting from that. So that's brilliant from Rasif and Edison. I think that was an excellent press conference. Gave us some nice insight into the mentality and the thinking. They've taken accountability for the mistakes that they've made in previous games, which I like. So we got some insight into that and what they're thinking about that. It's not like they are resting on their laurels and then accepting and riding on a high horse after a victory against Pakistan. They understand that they need to be better. So that's important from this team. So I'm happy with what I heard there. I think we are basically ready for this particular match. Um, let's see some of the comments. I can only read a couple, guys, because I don't have much time left on this computer. So let me just read some of the comments over here from Captain. Don't drop a player like Shamsi for someone other he has got confidence and needs backing, and I don't think we should. I think we need to play two spinners tomorrow, in my opinion, in Pune. Did that amazing match on Sunday. Kohli went for a duck. Same is a must, in my opinion. I agree with Lorenzo there. Rispin against New Zealand will be a good tactic. Extra place will play in their hands. And according to the pitch reports and conditions, it seems like the pitch is quite bouncy. So uh, going with the extra spinner might be the right decision over there. I've read that one out already. In a chase approach, not go big every ball, should play with the strike rotation. Yes, that's what I've said on the show already. With regards to building a platform, rotating the strike up front, that first top three is very important because they need to bat as deep as possible. And then they can be accompanied by the rest of our more attacking batters around them. People don't seem to understand how big a role RVD plays in his team. Generally, the guy who does the donkey work by laying a platform and absorbing the early pressure of the two new balls. Credit to him. 100% agree with that, Lawrence. I'm worried that this SA team is going in with overconfident. I don't think so at all. I think that they've prevented that from happening by focusing on each game as it comes. That is the thing that I think is brilliant from the South Africans team and what I've seen from them, what I've heard from them in the presser. Rassi didn't seem overconfident over here. When I listened to Temba speak in his pre-match press conference, it didn't seem like he was as well. They're all speaking the same language, saying that they're going to take it game by game. So I think that, and also Rob in yesterday's presser that we went over, he also said the same thing. They need to take it game by game, and every single game is a difficult game. People got into, Rob said that specifically, that people got into this World Cup because they are good enough. There is no team that should be underestimated. Every single team that is in here is good enough to be there. And so you need to respect them for how good they are. So I think we are fine with regards to that. I just think that we sometimes don't, we lose focus with regards to sticking to the basics and what works for us as a team, and look a little bit, when we're under pressure, we start to think, oh no, how are we going to counter X, Y, Z? We should just focus on what we do best. Listening to Rasi today and Rob yesterday, I wouldn't say we're going into tomorrow as overconfident. That's not what I'm getting. They seem humble and focused. I agree with that. Can Rasi channel Springbok Rasi tomorrow, hopefully? Um, if SA play their best, I expect them to beat New Zealand. We all would want that. It would be great. Any update on Lockie Ferguson? According to the reports that I've heard, he is out of the match, as well as Kane Williamson. So those are two massive injury blows for New Zealand. South Africa, everybody seems to be fit heading into this tournament, heading into this match so far. So, guys, that's all I have for you today. As I said, I'm sorry that I have to leave you guys early. As you know, it's back to load shedding again. The Boks win the World Cup, and we had no load shedding during the World Cup, Rugby World Cup, and now all of a sudden we are paying for that. So we straight back into load shedding straight away. And as you know, yeah, I don't have any power to my laptop currently to keep it going while I'm live with you guys. So I'm going to have to call it over here. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in, reacting to the press conference with me, giving me your thoughts about tomorrow's game. For me, with regards to team lineups, with regards to the toss, I feel that we should bat first. That's my opinion on with regards to the toss. If we win it, if we chase, we need to go with an approach of not being overconfident, over attacking, and we're not over conservative. We need to find that balance in the chase, building a platform between Quinny, Rassi, and Temba, and then allowing Aiden, Heinrich, and David to take us deep, and Marco to take us deep to win that match and score at a quicker rate later on in the innings. That's how I think we should approach our chases. We're batting first. Go out there, play your natural game. I think we can emulate our natural game also in the chase as well, with regards to the mentality of how we focus on the innings, especially if we only have 240, 250, 280, 290, 300, 320 on the board. If we have 400, it's a different story. We have to approach it completely differently, of course. But if we have anywhere between 250 or 240 and 380 set for us, I think we should just approach it with a balanced mentality. With regards to team news, with regards to a team that I would like to see play, I have maybe a view that's maybe a little bit different. I don't know. It depends on you guys, what you think. But for me, I would bring KG back in to this team in Pune for Lungi, because I think Lungi will be very effective against India. And I do think that Lungi needs a little bit of some sort of rest, because he does look like the heat and everything has been affecting him from a fitness perspective. So for me, I would bring KG back against New Zealand. And I would definitely play Tabrei Shamsi. If the other option is then to drop Gerald on a bouncy track, I know that he's been in great form, but the other option, if Lungi is fully fit and he is available and he can play the game, etc., and there isn't no issues, experience is very important to me. But Lungi and then putting Tabrei Shamsi. But the most important fact, that doesn't really bother me that much between those two. Whoever they pick with regards to that, I'll be fine with. For me, the biggest thing is Tabrei Shamsi needs to play. I think we need to play two spinners in this particular match. Okay, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Click that notification bell for all future videos. Also, I would like you guys to please subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. You can also show your support for Cricket Fanatics and everything that we do here, and all the shows that we do and the magazine that we do, by becoming a patron today. We rely on your patronage, so please get involved with that. It really keeps us going and makes it capable. It makes us capable of being able to do these shows on a regular basis. So please become a patron today. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, and share, and go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your updates. I've been yours, Khalid Mahidin. I really enjoyed chatting to you guys and bringing you this preview. I will see you guys again tomorrow for a review show directly after the game. Stay safe, enjoy the match, enjoy the rest of the evening. Peace out.